Good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I wanted to say hi to you guys and to let you all know that today is an interesting day. There's a lot going on in terms of Jay-Z and this whole thing with the NFL. There's a lot to unpack here in terms of trying to figure out what a lot of people are trying to figure out, which is, you know, did Jay-Z effectively sell out Colin Kaepernick and the social justice cause by partnering with the NFL? Now, a lot of you guys know that Jay-Z just signed a deal with the NFL, apparently to partner with them on music initiatives and social justice and things like that. And there were people that I was really analyzing. I was on my Instagram, which is the real Boyce Watkins, and I saw where there were a lot of people. I mean, it was so mixed. It was so interesting how it almost seemed like the opinions just literally split right down the middle. I mean, one person would say, good for Jay, it's cool, he can do what he wants. Another person would say, no, that's bullshit, Jay-Z's a sellout. So it's really an interesting kind of breakdown in terms of understanding economics and how economics drives social justice, how they're all connected. So when I talk to you guys about wealth building on a regular basis, this is exactly why. I think that when you're all sort of begging for a seat at the table, at the master's table, or fighting over a seat at the master's table, you end up, sort of getting into these almost what I might call, chicken fights, or plantation fights. Not to say that Cap or Jay-Z's on a plantation, but it's all about sort of fighting for this NFL platform, getting access to this NFL platform. And so y'all know how I think. I'm kind of like Ice Cube. Okay, maybe we had our own league, some of these issues would be resolved. But at the same time, it's really complex, and it is what it is. So let's kind of break this down. First of all, I want to say good morning to everybody. I see Coach K 37, Kirk Bond. I see the Blood of Ogun. What's going on? Jasmine Foster, Matrix Theory. Matrix Theory says Jay-Z's an opportunist. And do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. Also, shout out your city. Shout out your city that you're from. I like to see what cities you guys are coming in from. I know you guys are coming in from all over the world. I've heard from people as far away as London and China on this issue, so I thought it was worth talking about. And don't forget, I'll be just in case you guys are interested, I'll be in Atlanta next week, the weekend of August 23rd. So you can go to drboyceatlanta.com to learn more, drboyceatlanta.com. What's going on? I see Brooklyn shouted out, in Newark, New Jersey, Houston. All Black National Conventions in Houston, September 27th, allblacknationalconvention.com. Howard County, Maryland, Houston again, Montgomery, Alabama, Oxford, North Carolina. I see Bridgeport, Connecticut, Atlanta, Georgia, California, New Jersey, Kansas City. I don't know if it's KCK or KC Mo. Either way, I love you both. So let's break it down. Let's hop into this. Okay, so Jay-Z, if you don't know, in case you've been buried under a rock, Jay-Z just signed a deal with the NFL. He's going to partner with them on social justice initiatives and also on, I guess, musical selections. Maybe help them pick, which person is going to perform at the Super Bowl or whatever the case may be. And it is what it is. These deals get made all the time. And apparently, from what I've been reading in different places, there are some people that are very unhappy with Jay-Z's move. I was very curious to know how Kaepernick and his camp felt. Now, Kaepernick, he should probably be a monk, because Kaepernick is very silent. He doesn't talk much on social media. He talks through surrogates. He'll have his girlfriend say something, or his friends will say something, or he'll retweet something. And so it reminds me of that Avengers character, I Am Groot. I Am Groot doesn't talk. He just says, I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. So Kaepernick, aka I Am Groot, basically hasn't seemed to have said anything directly, which I really don't understand. That I kind of wish Cap would actually talk. Because that's required. If you're going to be the next Muhammad Ali, which I don't know if that comparison necessarily works. You got to say something. You got to talk. You can't just like sit there quietly and say I am Groot, because you're trying to protect your money, or you're trying to protect your lawsuit, or you're trying to protect your deal with Nike, or whatever it is he's protecting. He's not really talking much. Now maybe I can check again. Maybe he's tweeted something. But I think speaking through retweets, I'm just going to say that right there. I don't know if that is optimal for the community. Now, somebody says, and I agree, Diane, or excuse me, Lane Davenport, he would lose money if he talks. I agree. Which, okay, so I'm a financial guy. That's what I do. You guys know this. So let's talk about the money. So what Lane just mentioned, which I agree with, is that if Cap talks, he's going to lose money. That's probably why Cap is silent. That's probably why he's doing the I am Groot imitation, because Groot does not want to lose his money. And so, I think it's really fascinating that, the man who is silent, when the community would love for Cap to speak, right? The community, tell me yes or no, yes or no. Would you be happy if Kaepernick were to speak? Would you feel the community would benefit if Kaepernick used his voice to speak directly to issues affecting the community? Would the black community be better off if Kaepernick was to start tweeting and talking and giving speeches, maybe have a YouTube channel or whatever, or go on television and speak on the injustices around the country? Would the community be better off? Yes or no? Okay, so the answer is yes. So now we're making the assumption, this is not a critique of Kaepernick, this is just an observation. We're making the assumption that the community will be better off if Kaepernick were to forget about the money and talk. But instead, he's not talking because he's protecting the money. Okay. So what you're basically kind of saying, unfortunately, is that protecting the money is more important than protecting the community. I mean, that's kind of the conclusion. Like because remember, Ali didn't do that. Ali lost millions. Do y'all know how much money Ali lost? Muhammad Ali lost for speaking up. Ali could have been quiet too. Ali could have been like, I am Groot. I am Groot. I get paid. I am Groot. I wait for the check. I am Groot. Right? But Ali didn't do that. Ali was like, no, these suckers, Viet Cong ain't never called me nigga. Right? Ali's out there. He's like, the black man needs to blah, 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 blah. I'm with the Nation of Islam, and I'm not going to let nobody tell me what I can't believe in. I go to black neighborhoods and black people are being mistreated. Like, Ali wasn't quiet. Ali did not sit down and shut up. Ali did not shut up and dribble. Ali ran his mouth from the time from the time he got on a national platform to the time he stepped off and couldn't speak anymore. Ali used that voice, and that voice does matter. You could say like, no, it's a different game. You got to be more strategic. Okay, that's cool. You got it strategic. Okay, I get that. But just know that there's a difference between talking and not talking. Let's just be clear. And unfortunately for Kaepernick, not talking because you're protecting the money kind of puts you in an awkward position. It kind of undermines your moral authority a bit, undermines your credibility in terms of arguing that the community always comes first. And well, why does this matter? Well, because at the same time, there are people that are making the legitimate point, very legitimate point, that Jay-Z too has undermined his credibility by making a deal with the NFL. Let's be real. I mean, he signed a deal with the devil. He went right up to Satan and said, I'm gonna let you feel my booty for $55. Right? Like the NFL's like, come on, Hova, we want you in here. But we love you, Jay-Z. We'd love to have you here at the NFL because we really want to do the right thing, right? No, and you know how the game works. They're sitting there thinking this is great. Now we never have to hire Colin Kaepernick again because we've just purchased the credibility of one of the most respected black men on the planet. Right? We just some would say maybe neutralize him. Who knows? I don't know. I would imagine that you're going to criticize a person who's giving you millions of dollars a lot less than you would criticize somebody who ain't giving you shit, right? So let's be clear. Jay-Z, it's right to point out the hypocrisy. Shaun King pointed it out. Shaun King's correct. It's crazy. Like, what are you doing, man? This is whack, right? Okay, it is. But at the same time, he doesn't have a monopoly on whackness in any of this. At the same time, I've seen people who've actually made the point. They made the point. They said, look, Colin Kaepernick got 10 million or whatever from his lawsuit with the NFL. And he got tens of millions from his deal with Nike, who gets their money directly from the NFL. He's taking blood money. It's just the blood money. He has a middleman. But without the NFL paying Nike, Colin Kaepernick can't get his money from Nike. Without the NFL paying Nike, Colin Kaepernick can't get his dollars, right? That's just a fact. That's a point blank period, right? So okay, he's getting his money. Jay-Z's getting his money. And I think that what is interesting to me, the key issue came down to this. I was reading that from Kaepernick's girlfriend and from Shaun King and from some others, that it was a myth and a lie that Jay-Z spoke to Kaepernick before he took the deal. And that they were basically saying that Jay-Z talked to him after he took the deal, that that was like it was a done deal, and then he decided like, oh yeah, I want you guys to know I'm doing this deal with the NFL. Jay-Z wouldn't disclose exactly what they talked about. I don't think Jay-Z was seeking Kaepernick's blessing to do this deal. They seemed offended by the fact that Jay-Z did not get Kaepernick's blessing before he took the deal. They seemed offended that and mainly Kaepernick's girlfriend and Eric Reed, who's another vocal person in the NFL. God bless Eric Reed, still taking a knee, still in the league, doing his thing. God bless him for that. But they seem to feel that the deal was problematic, mainly because Kaepernick was not included in the deal, you know. And so what I thought about that, and I said to Alicia, because you know I wake up every morning with a PhD, another PhD in my bed, a beautiful black woman. If you ain't got a smart black woman next to you, you need to get one, because a smart black woman will help you see things you can't see on your own. And I said, here's one thing that really gets me. I said, so basically the issue is not so much about the deal, it's the fact that Cap is not included in the deal. It's not so much that Jay-Z is going to be employed by the NFL, it's that Kaepernick is not being employed by the NFL. If Kaepernick were employed by the NFL, then it would be all good. If Kaepernick were part of the deal with Jay-Z, it sounds to me that it would be all good, that they would be okay with that. And, or if they, let's say the NFL had done this, ask me yes or no, tell me if you guys get what I'm saying here. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying this is a perspective. What if the NFL has said, you know what if the NFL got a new commissioner who said, we're going to start over fresh, we're going to get rid of the problems of the past, we're going to do right by black people, because the NFL should do that. It's racist for the NFL to not support these issues on police brutality in a direct way. You get most of your labor from black people, from black men. You should care about issues that affect black men, right? If I had a company, a business that was where most of the people supporting that business and most of the people employed by that business were gay, I would have an obligation to speak up on gay rights in a direct and meaningful way, right? I can't act like it's those issues are not important and still take money from the gay community, right? That's an argument that would be made, and I would agree with that. So what if the NFL commissioner, the new commissioner, had said, we're gonna go right to the source of this. We're gonna go right to Cap, and we're gonna make a deal with Cap. So Kaepernick, we were gonna make a deal with Jay-Z, but we feel like that's whack. So we're gonna make a deal with you. We want you to come in. We want you to, first of all, we're gonna give you a job as a quarterback for some NFL team or whatever. We're gonna arrange that. Then second of all, we're gonna ask you to partner with us on social justice initiatives and our music selection, just like we were gonna ask Jay-Z. Do you think, yes or no, do you think if there was enough money on the table that Kaepernick would take that deal? Do you think Kaepernick, yes or no? Give me a yes or no, guys. Do you think Kaepernick would take that deal if it were put on the table? I see yes, no, yes. Okay. Do you think Kaepernick would take them? No. Okay. I see no, 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 yes. Because here's what I think. I'm going to challenge you and say, I think he would take the deal. Why do I think he'd take the deal? Well, because if they called him up tomorrow and said, we want you to play in the NFL, he'd jump right on it. Because this whole conversation ain't really about black people anymore. This ain't about solving issues in the black community. This is about Kaepernick having a job. That's the point that people are bringing up, that the NFL hired Jay-Z so they would not have to hire Colin Kaepernick. We pick one Negro so we don't have to deal with the other one. I'm going to deal with you, but I'm not going to deal with you, right? Like the Obama administration did that with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. They brought Al Sharpton in so they would not have to deal with Jesse Jackson. That's, in case y'all don't know, that's what was going on. I was watching. I was kind of an insider to all of this going down. They did not, Obama, for whatever reason, didn't want to deal with Jesse. So he said, we'll embrace Al and freeze out Jesse. Go count. How many times Al Sharpton was in the White House? So many times that you thought he probably had a spare bedroom in the White House. I don't think Jesse was invited once. I don't recall a single time Jesse was invited to the White House. So effectively, the game that's played is we'll deal with him because we don't want to deal with him. So what happens when you are the Negro that gets frozen out? What happens when the white man chooses him and doesn't choose you? How do you respond? Do you hate on him? Do you say, hey, you shouldn't have took that deal because I wasn't included. I should have been included in the deal. They won't give me a job, so you shouldn't take a job, right? Now, mind you, all of them are taking money from the NFL. All of them are getting money from the NFL. past, present, and future. All of them. Kaepernick, Eric Reed, Jay-Z, all of them are getting money from the NFL. They're all in the same play. They just have different roles. All of them are in the same drama. They just have different parts to play. Let's just be clear about that. Eric Reed getting millions from the NFL every year. Colin Kaepernick got his settlement and he got the Nike deal. Jay-Z just signed his deal with the NFL. So I thought about this and I said to Alicia, I said, you know, I think that the rule to apply here is what I will call the Farrakhan rule. What would Farrakhan do? Because here's the thing. If you look at Farrakhan, why do I compare it to Farrakhan? Farrakhan is the ultimate in terms of, if you want to find a black man who's been blackballed from being hired by damn near any white company in America, it would be Louis Farrakhan. Nobody, no white Jewish company, no Hollywood organization would go hire Louis Farrakhan. Not that I know. He had a Netflix deal. Netflix cut the deal when the Jewish community started speaking out about it, right? And so Farrakhan knows that, you know, if a company says we're hiring black people, he knows he can't get that job. He's not going to get that job. But Farrakhan don't need the job. Farrakhan is independent. He's strong. He's got his own thing going on. He got amazing black man. We all know how great he is. So while Farrakhan doesn't get opportunities, they're not gonna invite him in to work for these companies. He's connected to black people who do get invited in. You know, there are Hollywood stars that get jobs in Hollywood. They get to go take their movies and sell them to Hollywood. Farrakhan wouldn't be a good employee per se. He's not built for that. But he's made movies that would have been great on Netflix or in Warner Brothers or whatever. But they won't give him consideration. But there are black people who do. There are black people who do get those opportunities. And so when those people get those opportunities, does Farrakhan get mad? Does he hate on them? Does he say, you didn't get my blessing before you went and took that job? No. You know what Farrakhan does? Farrakhan says, good luck to you, brother. I support you. If you want to call me and talk to me and consult with me and have nobody else know that we had a conversation so I can help you strategize from the inside, then I welcome that call. Right? That's what he does. That's what wisdom teaches him, I believe, at the stage that he's at in his life. You know, and so I think that if Kaepernick was really, if it was really about doing what's best for the people, rather than saying you're a sellout because you didn't include me in the deal, you're a sellout because I still don't have a job, perhaps you could say, well, you know, Jay is still the same guy who wore a Kaepernick jersey on Saturday Night Live when he didn't have to, right? Jay-Z is still the same guy who's rapped about, you know, and criticized the NFL for the way they treated Kaepernick, right? And maybe Kaepernick says, you know, I don't know how I feel about this deal, but I can maybe talk to you. Since they won't deal with me, I know they'll deal with you. That's fine, because we can do good cop, bad cop on their ass. You know, you call me, I'll tell you what I think you should do next. It ain't got nothing to do with hiring me. I'm good. I got 10 mil from the NFL. I got 50 mil, whatever, from Nike. I'm straight. Now I just want to do justice and do what's right by the people. So I'm going to consult with you secretly to tell you, to give my 2 cents on how we can really make this thing go. Because I don't believe Jay-Z doesn't care about police brutality. I think Jay-Z is a capitalist. He is an opportunist in some ways, right? But everybody seeks opportunity. A lot of y'all working for white people right now. A lot of y'all going to work for some company that's racist right now. Come on, let's just be real. You know, but at the same time, Jay-Z's in a different position because Jay-Z doesn't have to do it. Jay-Z has a lot of money. So, you know, perhaps Jay-Z does things that a lot of us wouldn't do if we were in his position, but we're not in his position. So we can't speak entirely on what that feels like to have 1,000 people that you got to pay, to have a payroll of $5-10 million a month. None of us will know that feeling. So again, I'm not defending Jay-Z at all, but I'm saying that just because Jay-Z took a deal with the NFL, the same place that won't deal with Colin Kaepernick, I don't know if that necessarily means that Jay-Z is a sellout because I applied the Farrakhan rule. I think that Kaepernick his team seems not so mad about the deal. They're mad that they're not in it. They're mad that they're not included. And this goes back to the point that I've always made about Kaepernick, that, you know, if you're really out here fighting for police brutality, then you be out here fighting for police brutality. If you're really out here fighting for the people, then you be speaking for the people. But when the money's big enough, when you know you're gonna lose big bank because you were tweeting too much, you're pretty silent, man. You're pretty quiet. And I'm not saying that that makes him weak or bad. I mean, Kaepernick made a huge sacrifice for the world. He did not have to use his platform to take a knee. Kaepernick set this whole thing off. He deserves credit for that, but you deserve credit for what you did. You can't get credit for what you did not do. right? You get credit for what you did, not credit for what you did not do. Kaepernick did not do a LeBron James. LeBron still talking. LeBron still tweeting. LeBron still ain't scared of nobody, it looks like. Whereas Cap, silent as a fucking mouse. Like, I'm not hearing nothing. I read his tweets. I'm like, what did he tweet about it? He ain't tweeting nothing. He's just retweeting everybody, like speaking through proxy. Like no, man, you can't do that. You can't pretend to be in the line of fire, but be out of the line of fire. Like, you either in it or you out. You in it or you out. When I talk, I don't have surrogates. I don't just retweet things I agree with. I'll say it. And do you think I could go get a job any fucking where? Do you think Nike will ever write me a check? Do you think the NFL would ever? White people don't do business with me because they go and they research my videos and they say, oh my God, he's too black. We can't do business with him. We can't fuck with him. And it's okay though. It's really okay because I'm fine. Like, I can pay my bills and I have my community has my back, right? So my point is to say that at the end of the day, all these guys are great men, in my opinion. I think all of them have made a contribution. All of them can be critiqued. All of them can be challenged. All of them, starting with the NFL especially. I mean, the NFL owes this to black men. The NFL has used black male labor since I don't know when as the predominant source of their income earning potential. And so they should be the first to step up in a significant way on black male issues, and not just one of these like, oh, we throw our spare change in black charities. No, you need to be in the mix. If black men are dying in the street, you need to be on the front lines fighting for this issue the same way you would if you were fighting for gay people. The NBA, they will boycott your whole damn city if they find out that you won't let boys and girls use the same bathroom. I think North Carolina wanted to. They didn't want to pass a law saying everybody could just use whatever bathroom they wanted. The NBA said we're not going to bring the All-Star game to your city or something. It was something like that. So the NFL needs to do the same kind of thing when it comes to issues that affect black men, right? So the NFL is probably the group that should be criticized the most. But I think everybody else, when you talk about the key players, Kaepernick, Jay-Z, Kaepernick, and Eric Reed, all y'all getting money from the NFL. Eric Reed pays his bills with NFL money. Colin Kaepernick got a big check from the NFL and a big check from Nike, who gets their money from the NFL. So how are you mad that Jay-Z is going to get a check too, just because he's getting it in a different way? Especially knowing that if you were offered the same damn deal, you'd probably take it. I think Cap is upset because Jay-Z did not get his blessing to go take the deal. Who the fuck said that he got to get your goddamn blessing to go take a deal? Do you have to get anybody's blessing before you took that deal with Nike? Did you call Boyce Watkins and say, Dr. Watkins, I heard you critiquing the NFL, and I heard you say this and say that, and I need you to bless me before I take this deal with the NFL? Well, first of all, I wouldn't have gave you my blessing. Not that you should give a fuck, but I wouldn't have gave you my blessing. But then number two, why should you even want my blessing in the first place, man? That's your life, your choice, your money. Go get your money, man. Who cares what Boyce Watkins thinks? So I don't think Cap has the right to tell Jay-Z that he can't go get money from the same place Cap been getting money for years. Seriously, straight up, point blank period. So that's let me see here. Somebody says, Boyce, you need to understand that there was a deal signed by Cap. I wouldn't speak negative unless I knew the details of the deal. Exactly. That's an excellent point too, Travis. Why don't we know the details of the deal? Why don't we? Why don't we know what happened in the lawsuit? Yes or no? Yes or no? Would you have preferred it if Kaepernick? Yes or no? Would you have preferred it if Kaepernick's lawsuit had been open to the public? Would you have preferred it if there was a trial where all the details could be spilled and everything could be laid on the table? Would you have preferred that? Or do you prefer that it was kept under wraps? That everything was muted and whatever they call it, sealed. All the documents were sealed. The settlement was sealed. Because remember, Cap's got a Twitter following of millions of people. He could easily tweet, the NFL paid me $10.2 million. The NFL was accused of this, and this. Here's a link to our lawsuit that you can go read. Full disclosure, full transparency. You could have told everybody. So why don't we know the details of the deal? Because that would have affected your money. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just calling it for what it is. I'm speaking up on it because that's what it is. I'm not criticizing it because all of us as Black people got to pay bills. All of us got things we got to do. So I'm not going to go and attack a man for making a certain deal. I'm just going to, but just know, given my PhDs in finance, I understand how money and finances affect people's decision making. And in this particular situation, you can't sit here and tell me like, well, you don't know the details of the deal. And that's why you can't talk. Well, why the fuck don't I know the details of the deal? Why aren't you telling me? Because you're quiet, because you're protecting your money. So you're thinking about your money, just like Jay's thinking about his money, Eric Reed's thinking about his money. And really, you know what the perfect boycott would be? The perfect boycott, and this is hard to do. The perfect boycott is if all the three of them said, we ain't fucking with the NFL on any level. If Eric Reed held a press conference tomorrow and said, I know this is going to come to us significant financial harm to my family, and I really regret having to do this, but because of my core beliefs as a human being, I will no longer be playing in the National Football League. And Kaepernick was to say, because of my core beliefs, I don't believe that the NFL, that their money, I believe their money is dirty money, and I will not accept money from that settlement. I will not accept money from Nike because I don't want to do business with the NFL. Like, would you take money from the Klan if the Klan, let's say the Klan had was sponsoring a donut company and you had KKK donuts and you were asked to do a commercial for KKK donuts, but you could still kind of motivate people to like set goals like if your dreams aren't big enough, then you should ask, are your goals crazy enough? Whatever it was he said. That was a cool commercial. But would you take money if the donut company was getting money from the Klan? No, you'd say no. I'm not taking money from the Klan, right? So a perfect boycott would be if Eric Reed, Colin Kaepernick, and Jay-Z all together said, we're not taking any NFL money. We're not dealing with the NFL. We're blocking them out completely. The problem with that approach is that then at that point, now you have nothing, no progress. The NFL isn't going to change a thing. You've frozen them out. You're punishing them. But some would say maybe having somebody on the inside is a good thing. Maybe having Eric Reed up their ass. Eric Reed made that point. Eric Reed said, yeah, I still work for the NFL, but I'm staying up their butt about it, right? He retweeted somebody. He tweeted back at somebody about it. And that tells me that when the fact that he tweeted back at a person who criticized him for taking money from the NFL shows me that it weighs on his conscience, where he's trying to resolve the inherent conflict within himself over whether or not he should be taking money from the NFL. So what he's saying is, I'm going to take their money, but I'm going to be up their ass. Well, why can't Jay-Z say the same thing? Why can't Jay say, I'm gonna take their money, but I'm gonna be up their ass? I mean, if I'm in the room, then we can make change. If I'm right there, then we can do things different. Anybody can make that argument. Some people mean it, some people don't, right? So I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, there are issues all the way around. Everybody's got a little blood on their hands, because everybody at the end of the day, everybody's taking money from the NFL. All of them are, right? So anyway, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, please hit the subscribe button. I want to remind you guys, I'll be in Atlanta next week. If you want to come out, we're doing an investment seminar all day long. You can learn more by going to drboyceatlanta.com. I'm going to give us a meet and greet and a book signing on Friday. I'm also going to speak at the We Buy Black convention on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we'll do a day-long investment seminar, small group of Black wealth builders. There aren't that many seats. So if you're interested, sign up at drboyceatlanta.com. Also next Monday on the 19th, Monique says she wants to come on the podcast. Monique, the actress, comedian, very talented lady. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen in that conversation, but Monique says she wants to come on Dr. Boyce TV. So I look forward to talking to her. Last but not least, I want to remind everybody, in case you actually want to join our organization for Black men, if you're a Black men only, you can join us at blackmenunited.net. That's blackmenunited.net. Andre C. Hatchett and I founded this organization to help unify Black men and teach us how to have a sense of purpose and how to be strong and how to work together. So feel free to join us at blackmenunited.net. All right. So I know that some of y'all agree with me. Some of y'all disagree. It's okay to disagree. Diversity of opinion is what we need. But I just don't think that any of this is crystal clear. And I think anybody who calls Jay-Z a sellout at the end of the day has to ask themselves, have you taken money from the NFL? And if the NFL had offered you that same deal, would you have taken the deal? I believe that if the NFL had tried to make a deal with I know that if the NFL had tried to make a deal with Kaepernick, he would have taken that deal. Why? Well, because this whole conversation is about Cap getting a job with the NFL. It's all about Cap getting money from the NFL, right? So I think that kind of makes it difficult to critique you know, what Jay-Z might be doing. That's my point. Doesn't mean it's the same thing, but it does mean that it does point out a potential hypocrisy. So anyway, I'm about to go, guys. Have a good day. And it was real. And feel free to disagree with me in the comments. I'm sure some of y'all might agree. Some of y'all might hear me out. Some of y'all might want to cuss me out, and it's totally okay either way. This is the platform for intelligent Black people. So if you're not Black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out. But if you are Black and intelligent and want to have a healthy debate, this is the place to be. So take care, guys. Have a good day. Please hit the thumbs up button before you go. And I'll see you guys maybe in Atlanta, drboyceatlanta.com, or next month at the All Black National Convention, which is allblacknationalconvention.com. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Peace.